Hey guys, it's Mike again from the Well That Didn't Work Cruise, Learning to Craft Tabletop RPG Terrain series. I'm back again, and it's time to see what I've learned about painting. Now, in doing my research, they said, I need this one, and this one, and this one. I also need that one, and this one, and this one. I'm in trouble. Stick around. There are so many different techniques out there that no clear case could be made for the top 50, let alone 2 or 3. I'm not even going to try. I'll simply say, try them, find out what you like. I prefer simple and effective at this point, so this and the next few episodes will be about how to achieve several looks. First up is Sandstone. In my opinion, it's the easiest one to do and make look right. All you need are a light brown base, a tan paint, a cream paint for dry brushing, and some white paint for dry brushing. First, get a wet brush and load it up with your brown paint. Apply a thin layer to your project, hitting every surface and crack. You can skip this step if you base coated using Mod Podge and dark brown paint. If you haven't done this before, I'll put a link to the base coating episode where I discussed it and did so using black paint. But anyway, let's get back on topic. Allow the paint layer to dry. This should only be about 30 minutes or so. Make sure once it's dried to check and see if the surface is fully coated. If any of the original foam color is still showing through, take a bit more paint, and by that I mean very, very little, and touch up the areas needed. If you feel your paint layer is still not right at that point, add a few drops of water to your paint to thin it out. This is going to allow your texture to still show through, but apply the extra paint that you need to sit on top. And then repaint the remainder of the surface. Let it dry for about 30 minutes or so. This should give you a good solid first layer to achieve the overall sandstone look. This is what it's going to look like. Next, once that is dried, take your tan paint and repeat the wet brush technique. This time, however, you do not need to worry about 100% coverage. If some of the light brown and those undertones still show through, it'll add some weathered effect to the final look. You can also achieve this weathered effect by starting off with a few drops of water and mixing it with the paint like you did in the touch-up step above. But I found that it lets too much of the darker brown show through, and it has a potential with the water of reactivating the brown coat of paint below it. As a side note, if you don't have a tan-colored paint, take the brown that you started with, add a few drops of white, and mix it until you get a color that is about half the shade of brown. Let it dry for about 30 minutes or so. You're looking for about 80% coverage. And it should look something like this when you're done. Next, you'll need to do a heavy dry brush of a cream-colored paint. Do not wet it. Instead, apply some cream-colored paint to both sides of the brush. Again, if you don't have any cream paint, take the tan mixture that you mixed above and keep adding a little bit of white and stir it in until you get a very light cream color. At that point, you'll wipe the brush on a paper towel until a majority of the paint appears to have come off. Hold your brush at about a 45-degree angle, and without much pressure at all, drag it across your stonework. This will highlight all the raised textured surfaces, but not fully cover or coat the tan painted surface. Do this in all directions until you have about 60% coverage of the cream color. Give this step about 5 to 10 minutes to dry, and it should look something like this. Next, use another flat brush and your white paint. Just like above, load the brush and wipe it off on a paper towel. This time, try to wipe a majority of the paint off. Hold the brush at about a 60-degree angle and drag it without any pressure across the surface of your stonework. And then repeat this step for each of the hard edges on your project. Give it about 5 minutes to dry, and it'll look like this. Now that you have achieved a sandstone look, at this point you could add more details using washes or flocking, but that will be covered as part of a more advanced tutorial. I'm not quite there yet myself, and I don't want to mislead you. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode. I hope you've enjoyed my journey so far. If you have, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button on the video, as well as subscribing if you're not a current subscriber. But most of all, if you do subscribe, smash that bell icon in the lower right. That's going to let you know whenever I've got a new video that comes up. If you want to help support our channel's growth, there's a link to Patreon in the description below. Our community of backers will get additional content there, as well as being entered in to our giveaways. Now that I've completed my playable inn, I decided to tackle another project on the side. These will be future videos that you'll get a chance to see the walkthroughs. But for right now, I've decided to move on to building a bridge. And as always, thanks for watching. And keep on adventuring.